Hey guys, it's your boy Zai back for another video. Today we have got what if Deku was the reincarnation of King, also known as Harley Quinn, and had the spirit Chastieful. And this one was actually requested by an enemy and a good friend on Discord. His name's Tenko. He doesn't make videos, but yeah. Can't really put a link to him like I usually would, but he did make the thumbnail, so big up Tenko. So let's just dive straight into this. Like, sub, hit the noti bell, join my Discord. It's in my channel description. I don't know if I'll put it in this video, I might or I might not. So yeah, don't want to waste even more of your time. This is nearly a minute already, 50 seconds. So yeah, let's get straight into this. Our story begins with Izuku being born. Wow, shocker. Like every one of my videos, Izuku is born. Although, coming soon, a video where Izuku wasn't born. Hisashi followed the path of a hero and didn't end up having time to have children with women that looked like, well, Inko. Oh yeah, I'm a bit sick, so at points my voice might get a bit raspy. But yeah, let's just continue straight with this. So, Izuku is born, but everyone thinks he's quirkless. But instead of being a wimp like in the original timeline, instead of being bullied and doing stuff like that, he chooses to train. He starts doing 10,000 push-ups a day, 10,000 sit-ups a day, a 1 mile run a day. No, he's not Saitama, I'm chilling. I'm joking. Yeah, but he generally just does a bunch of stuff when it comes to that. And he also does some boxing, karate, kung fu, and even more. Eventually he turns 10 though, and he gets a gym membership. And he was so excited to be using the proper equipment. Treadmills, weights, rowing machines, even more. But when he's at that gym, he meets someone who will become a good friend of him. Eijiro Kirishima. The two of them just start hanging out together. They're similar ages and they both go to the gym. This is when they're 10, by the way, which is shocking. 2 10-year-olds at the gym just vibing together. They both get jacked. And Kirishima thinks Izuku is just so manly. Because Izuku still wants to be a hero, even though he's quirkless. In this timeline, Izuku is still bullied by Katsuki Bakugo. But I say we time skip just a few years, and it's Izuku's 13th birthday. His grandpa comes to visit, and his grandpa has a long wooden box with him. He tells Deku that it's a family heirloom, and that he's given it to him, for he knows that Deku wants to become a hero one day. Izuku opens the box, and oh no, I messed that up. His grandpa opens the box and presents Izuku a dusty old wooden spear. Izuku does the thing where you have to act grateful for a gift that you didn't ask for. Kind of like when all you little kids get socks for Christmas and try to act like you love them. Love your grandma, kids. Christmas is only in a few days, assuming when this comes out. And, well, he says, "Oh, thanks, Gramps. I really like this," in a really sarcastic tone, like I just did. His grandpa tries to tell Izuku to try it out, so Izuku touches it. But the second Izuku makes contact, Izuku and the spear are enveloped in a golden light. Small fairy rings sprout from Deku's back, and the spear takes the form of Spirit Spear Chastieful. Well, then, while still in the golden light, the spear starts shifting through all the forms, from the pillow to the pillow bear to the spear, even to the drop of life mode. Everyone is shocked about what Izuku is doing, what just happened. But then Izuku just falls back onto the floor. But Chastieful shapes into pillow mode and catches his fall. Deku stumbles. Then his grandpa says, "This hasn't happened since my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather was a hero, as you know. He was the Fairy King. He was called the Fairy King. That was his hero name, at least. His weapon was Spirit Spear Chastieful. For just a single second, the world stopped moving. Izuku stares at his hands, at the wings on his back, and the impossible weapon floating beside me. him. He trained for 3 years straight. He bled for a dream that everyone laughed at, but nothing had prepared him for this. Izuku swallows, his throat dry. His heart is rioting inside his chest. The spear gently thumps against him and his shoulder against them, almost comforting, as if saying, "Hey kid, I chose you for a reason." The room is dead silent. His mom is frozen. Kirishima, who came over for the birthday, is staring with eyes wide, like he'd just saw All Might bench press the moon. Deku, Kirishima mutters. "Man, you're glowing." Izuku opens his mouth, but no words, just raw shock. His grandpa steps forward, shadows carving deep lines across his face. "My great grandfather, the first Midoriya to rule Chastieful." His voice goes heavier, weight pressing into every word. They called him the Fairy King. The name hits like a punch. Fairy King? His breath stutters. Deku says, "My boy," his grandpa continues, eyes glimmering with memories Izuku has never heard before. "He saved hundreds, stopped disasters that would have swallowed this whole country down. But the spear," he gestures to the glowing weapon, "it never chose anyone after my great-grandfather." Izuku looks at the spear, now shifting into its second form, vine spiraling, wood morphing with a fluidity that defines logic, and something inside him clicks. Not fear, not disbelief, but purpose. Like the spear is awakening something he buried under years of bullying, mockery, and being told, "You can't do this, you can't do that, you're not good enough." Kirishima steps beside him, fists clenched with excitement. "Bro, you're not quirkless. You're like a magical fairy warlord, dude. You're so manly!" Izuku starts crying hard enough to flood the earth, but the wings on his back dissolve. The light fades, and Chastieful rests in his hands, quiet, sleeping again. Izuku whispers, "Why me?" His grandpa smiles faintly, "Because you never stopped moving forwards." Izuku's hands tremble around the spear. All those nights at the gym, every bruise, every moment Bakugo sneered, "You're useless, Deku." Every time he stood up anyways, this is what that was for. His grandpa leans, voice low, like a prophecy. "Izuku, with Chastieful, you don't just have a quirk. You inherited a legacy that terrifies even heroes." Izuku's eyes widen. The world doesn't know it yet. His grandpa rests a hand on his shoulder, steady, but mark my words, a new Fairy King has been born. 2 years pass. 2 years of training with a weapon that breathes, shifts, and judges him. 2 years of Kirishima beside him, pushing him, sweating, yelling, "Manly!" Every time Izuku lands a hit that knocks a training dummy through a wall. 2 years of hiding his truth, that he's still quirkless, still human, still someone trying to fill a throne meant for legends. But now he's 15, and today's the day that changes everything. Izuku takes the same route home. This is the day of the sludge villain, after all. But he isn't the same kid. Chastieful floats beside him, lazily in Form 3, sunflower, glowing faintly. He hums, thinking about school, about UA, about the pressure of carrying a legacy. This was, after all, the day he confirmed to the world he'd go to UA, confirmed to himself. It might not be written in stone yet, but he has faith he'll get it. But then the sewer lid explodes. The sludge villain surges out like a tidal wave of venomous mud. "Give me your body, kid!" Izuku steps back and breathes sharp, but he doesn't freeze. Chastieful snaps to life. Form 5, increase. The spear multiplies. 10 identical copies floating around him like golden fangs. Izuku thrusts forward. Chastieful's increased barrage. The spears pierce through the sludge's mass, pinning chunks to the wall, shredding the villain apart until it collapses in a trembling heap. No fear, no hesitation, just absolute control. The villain wheezes in shock. What are you, kid?" Izuku tightens his grip. A new Fairy King doesn't answer to monsters. Wind detonates the alley. A familiar shadow lands. I am here! What? Where's the villain? Where is he? There's Rebel's a villain here. Oh, Nezu, did your alarm system mess up again? Izuku interrupts with a bow, nearly faceplants. All mine! I'm a huge fan. Sorry, I already captured him, sir. Hi, by the way. I'm Izuku Midoriya. It's a pleasure to meet you. All Might blinks twice, then leads in close. Young man, did you just say you defeated the villain? What could your quirk be? Izuku freezes. He can't do what he says to everyone else who asks his quirk, but he says he's quirkless. He can't say that. I'm quirkless. Not to the symbol of peace, not to All Might, not after society spent years breaking him with that single word. So he forces a smile. He says, my quirk is Chastieful. It lets me control this spear. A half-truth, a safe one to tell all. All Might nods, eyebrows raised. That's a quite impressive power that you wield. But the bottle shakes that he was holding, the one that contained the sludge villain, and everything collapses into a cannon. All Might takes off, the bottle sips, the sludge escapes, and Bakugo, kicking a can around like the idiot this man is taken. Izuku walking by just on his way home, but then he hears screams. He runs to the scene to see the sludge villain having taken Bakugo. And this is a good time to mention that, firstly, I'm in a sub race. First to 500 subs against the one, the only Toby Big Thighs. If you don't know who that is, it's Toby Fee. He might be in the link, or I'll put his picture. But he's not posting, so sub to me. First to 500 subs wins a prize. If he wins, I have to change my name to Yacht. Or Yoit. I don't know how to say it. He'll tell you in his video. But if I win, he'll be making me my own OC and a new profile picture for free. So, you know what to do. You like the content? Sub, hit the notification bell, join the Discord, and more. Anyways, after that quick little sub race ad, let's get back into this. Izuku doesn't think. He doesn't wait. He doesn't let fear win. He sees someone. He's still human. He may be his biggest bully, but he doesn't care. Chastieful wars a rake, sunflower mode, spear-like petals all pointing at the villain. Izuku darts straight into the flames and smoke. Kirishima's voice echoes in his head from 1 year ago when they were training together. Being a hero is doing what's right, even when the world thinks you're crazy. Izuku hurls Chastieful forward. Form 2, Guardian, he yells. The soft pillow form hardens instantly into the enormous pillow bear, slamming into the sludge villain's feet, ripping Bakugo free. Bakugo falls into Izuku's arms. For 1 second, the explosion boy stares at him like he doesn't understand who even is Izuku anymore. Later, a few hours later, after the sludge villain is defeated by All Might, Izuku and All Might are on a rooftop. All Might stands before him with the weight of destiny in his hand. Young Midoriya, you have what it takes. Would you inherit my quirk? I have a power that can be passed on. Its name is One for All. Izuku steps back. He knows what this is. He can understand what All Might's asking him. He knows what it means to feel powerless, and what it means for someone else to need a chance like this. He understands that there's someone else who deserves this quirk more than him. All Might, he says softly, I can't accept your quirk. I'm sorry. But he gets more confident. There's someone else, someone who'd benefit more than me. Someone who could become an even stronger, better hero than what I could with that quirk. I'm already strong, but he needs it. My best friend, Angelo Kirishima. All Might studies him, truly studies him. Very well then, he nods. I'll put this Angelo Kirishima to the test. It's the next day, and Izuku had told Kirishima to meet him on the beach. Kirishima was still confused, but once he arrives at the beach, he sees Izuku standing next to... Hold on, what? It can't be. All Might. Kirishima starts trembling. They quickly run him down on what they want to happen. And then Kirishima says, All Might, you really want to give me your quirk? I'm a nobody. You couldn't. But Izuku steps forwards and he says, No, Kirishima, you're not some nobody. You're the most manly person I know, and you're going to be one of the greatest heroes ever. That's why I told All Might to give it to you. Kirishima then bows to All Might. He says, All Might, if you're willing to, I accept your offer. And at that moment, since Kirishima's already jacked, Angelo Kirishima eats a piece of hair. And that is how Kirishima got one for all. Afterwards, we get a brief training arc with the boys training under All Might. Kirishima focuses on increases his strength and using one for all since he did eat the hair already. Meanwhile, Izuku sharpens Chastieful even more. He's got access to even more of its different forms, and he's mastering a few new ones. At the end of 6 months, the beach is cleared. But this was just incredible to All Might. The beach was already cleared, so for the rest of the time, they just focus on their stamina and practicing, even going to the gym some more. After the 10 months, it's time for the UA entrance exam. Izuku doesn't trip in this timeline. He walks in calmly, composed, with Chastieful floating like a guardian behind him in pillow form. He does the written exam, and it goes as well as you would think. Pretty simple even. Yeah, nothing really happens. Izuku's still smart. And then it's time for the robot portion. Izuku breathes as his wings appear from his fairy wings appear from his back. He yells, Chastieful, Formate, Purge Mode. The spear splits into hundreds of tiny golden daggers. He points forwards, Go! They shred the battlefield. The robots fall like dominoes. Other examinees can only stare. Even President Mike stops mid-commentary. In the end, Izuku Midoriya earned the highest score in UA history. It's been a few days and Izuku finds out that he did have the highest score. He learns he'll be entered into Class 1A. And once he tells the news to Kirishima, Kirishima tells him he will also be in Class 1A. It's the first day and it's the class. Kirishima and Deku enter the class. Chastieful floats behind Izuku. He walks in and he sees Aizawa sleeping. Izuku has some chat with some of the other members of his class, whether that's Uraraka, Mina, Ida, and more, until the class just starts yelling and talking, to the point Aizawa wakes up. Oh, why do you talk so much? It's the first day, give me a break, he says. But then, it's just like a bit of a vibe. But Aizawa says, Okay class, since you all just want to talk so much, let's put you to the test. A quirk apprehension test. Go to your locker, get changed, meet me outside in 10 minutes. The class does as he says. Outside, Bakugo does his ball throw. Explosion, power, noise, basically the same as normal. Until Uraraka says, Oh my gosh, that looks so fun, girls. And that gets Aizawa just annoyed and pissed off. So, he does the only reasonable thing. Okay guys, whoever gets the bottom score is getting expelled. Everyone's shocked. And now, it's time for the... For the rest of the tests. But before that, Izuku does his ball throw. he summons Chastieful. Well, Chastieful is already there. He steps into the circle. Chastieful shifts into quietly. Full form, Lance, Izuku whispers. He doesn't throw the ball, he taps it. The spear's tip pulses once. The ball vanishes into the sky. Boom! A digital number flickers. 705.3 meters. Silent. Everyone's shocked. Someone drops the notepad. No, Ida drops his glasses. Bakugo's teeth grind. You were quirkless, Deku. Then you got that damn spear. Aizawa looks at him, suspicious. Quirkless? But Aizawa's still confused. Something's up with that kid. What is his real quirk? Then it's time for the 50-meter dash. Izuku doesn't sprint. Chastieful splits into the thin golden platforms under his feet. Form 6, hover step. He glides effortlessly, crossing the finish line before most students. He even used his wings to get there even faster. Aizawa watches closely, still confused, still not thinking he's telling the truth about his quirk, quotation marks, guys. For the grip strength test, Izuku grips the device. Chastieful coils around his arm like a living brace. The number spikes, then stabilizes. High, not absurd, controlled. Aizawa nods just once. The long jump. Izuku's wings glow. No, the long jump. But Izuku does it without his wings or without his glow. Just a single Chastieful construct laughing at him. He lands clean. His perfect form, perfect balance. For the sit-ups, Izuku finishes first. Not because he's flashy, but because he never stopped training at the gym with Kirishima. Kirishima just watches that and says, "That's my brother! He's so manly!" Then it's just a stamina test. Sweat beads off Izuku's brow. This one hurts. Chastieful dims slightly, testing him back. "Can you stand without me?" Chastieful wonders. Izuku does though, muscles shaking, breath heavy. But then Aizawa decides he needs to test his theory. Is Izuku truly a boy with a quirk called Chastieful? His red eyes activate. Aizawa knows the type of quirk Izuku has will disappear if it's erased, so he takes his theory to the test. He uses erasure, but Chastieful, it still exists. It's still there. For the first time, Izuku knows someone knows his truth. The fact that he's quirkless. The weight, the silence, that truth, quirklessness. Aizawa watches carefully. Izuku strains his spine. No panic, no fear. He's just scared. Scared to think he'll be outed. Scared to think All Might will know who lied to him. But Aizawa just nods. He knows Chastieful and Izuku will still be a strong pair. In the end, no one was expelled. Izuku came first. Relief crashes through the class, knowing that none of them would be going home. But make no mistake, Midoriya Izuku, Izuku Midoriya, the wielder of Harley Quinn, the wielder of Chastieful, and the soon-to-be wielder of the title The Fairy King. It's not powerful just because of his weapon. He's powerful because he doesn't break without it. And so that's where I want to end this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I think this was a decent one. Tenko, it's finally coming, hopefully. But yeah, like, sub. Yeah, actually, especially sub to this one, because sub race, as I said at the start. And I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow. Assuming this comes out on the 13th of December, my Midas What If should be coming out tomorrow. So yeah, Thanks. Peace. Praise the Lord, y'all.